Wait outside. Nodding barely noticeably, Rin strides in without stopping, and naturally without knocking. Maybe that's why it takes a few seconds before I hear the teacher's voice from inside. There you are!
Hello.
A conflict arises. Should I stay here, or should I go somewhere else? I know it's not the time, but should I stay or should I go now? 'Cause if I go, there will be trouble. And if I stay, there will be double. I'm sorry. My bad. Yeah. I'm not sure if I even want to eavesdrop on them. It was like a quasi David Bowie a little bit. Like a terrible one, but kind of. Manners lose to curiosity, so I stay close enough to listen in. Their voices echo in the hallway, but no matter. There's nobody around save for me. Dear girl, what on earth were you thinking leaving like that on a big night?
I couldn't say anything.
Compared to Namiya's scolding tone, Rin sounds awfully quiet and withdrawn. Her words seem to drown under his. I have to say, I am very disappointed in you, Tezuka.
It was no good at all.
Never mind all the things I did for you, but what about Sai? And what about all the guests who wanted to meet you?
There was nobody, even Hasao.
You have embarrassed us very badly, Tezuka. Reputation is what counts. Surely you know that.
That's all right. I don't need it.
What do you think you know? Rin's replies seem to only agitate the teacher more, his voice rising with every sentence. Again, dude, just lay off, man. The path of an artist is a thorny one. I'll tell you that, thorny. You have to see the big picture. There will be bad times and good times.
Things are like they are. It'll be all right, even.
You might now think that it's oh so wonderful and easy, but how far will you have gotten without me? I won't always be there for you. When you lie on the floor in your minuscule room, your rent 3 weeks late, your mind blank from the 4th week straight, then you will wish you had listened to old Namiya a bit more. When you keep measuring on the shadow of your chair becomes longer over the spring because it's all your lethargy allows, that's when you'll start caring about your career.
That doesn't matter.
Your resolve is not enough.
I'm not a resolved person.
You're not a resolved person. Then tell me, why did we go through all this trouble if it amounts to a mosquito shit? Oh no. Him yelling at Rin makes me feel bystander's guilt. Yeah, no, it was this scene that pissed me off. Alright. If I had gone with her, maybe he wouldn't have gotten so angry. If I had not let her run away, he wouldn't have gotten angry in the first place. I could still go and save her. I don't think I can. I was the same. I yelled at Rin too, and I'm feeling all the more embarrassed about it now. I felt justified to vent my anger at her face just because I felt like it was her fault and I was so frustrated. I was no more justified than he is. A terrible silence sets upon the hallway. Rin doesn't have anything to say to Namiya. Whether she has run out of answers or she knows that arguing would only make him angrier is anyone's guess. The teacher has nothing more to say either, it seems, or maybe he just ran out of breath. For a moment I imagine the two of them just staring at each other, one full of red-hot anger and the other full of... Yeah, what? I can't tell how Rin feels, not before, not now. The teacher seems to expect Rin to say something too, but since she doesn't, he finally continues in a quieter, but not less angry voice. What worth is there in doing so much work if the outcome is nothing? Still, Rin will not say anything. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have gotten so excited. He does not sound sorry at all. Rather, his tone is cold and sharp, like he was spitting the words out of his mouth. I did not show that very well. It seems that I was expecting too much. You're not an artist after all. Fuck this man! Like, God, this fucking episode is irritating the shit out of me. Yep, not sorry at all. Fuck out of here. You and your stupid ass fucking tie, your pink ass glasses. You fucking son of a bitch. He storms out of the club room and down the stairs without noticing me. After he's gone, I peek carefully inside the classroom. I completely forgot this scene happened. But yeah, no, this is absolutely the reason I didn't fucking like Namiya. Jesus. Rin is left standing there in front of the teacher's desk.
I couldn't say I'm sorry.
She says it in the humid air of the classroom, not to me. But since the room won't answer her, I'll have to. That was unfair of him. He was angry, but still. I can't decide how to end my sentence. Disdaining the teacher feels like disdaining my own behavior from 2 days ago. I mean, you would be. But I'd also say that means that you've grown and you learn that you fucked up. Stupid, but correct in hindsight. Rin won't answer, staying petrified where she stands, so I walk up to her. She stood up for herself in a way. I didn't expect that. I can't determine whether it's unbecoming or not, but either way she did it. Against me, she never did. I sort of wish she had. Maybe I wouldn't feel this bad then. Lately, it really seems that I've been wishing for all kinds of things. Rin?
Go away.
Why? What are you saying?
You're angry with me too, right? I thought you were my friend. I thought you was too.
Her voice is unlike I've ever heard it. It's bitter, sharp like needles, and she keeps staring pointedly at her toes. I don't think it's about that. He wanted you to become something you're not, and I take a deep breath and finally catch her eyes in my own, locking our gazes. I'm sorry. I wanted us to be something else too. More than friends. Maybe that's why I couldn't contain myself and became so frustrated, just like the teacher did.
What more? There's nothing more to me than me. That's all I am. I don't understand that.
Well, the answer should be obvious, right? I remember myself thinking the purpose of friendship, to put up with everything and anything, to be there for your friend. Did I fail as a friend, thinking it could be a stepping stone for something else? I don't know. That's always been a thing for me too. It's like, say you fall in love with someone who's your friend or your best friend or someone that you care about, and of course they don't think that way. Either they're hell in a relationship, or they don't look at you that way because they in their head you're just not that person to them. But they're totally that person to you. I don't know. It's always like a feeling of guilt behind that. Because in the end, you know that you're the issue in that situation. You can't say anything because you know you're going to fuck everything up if you do. I've been in that situation before. Multiple times. And I fucking hate it. Especially since sometimes it comes down to its feeling of the eternal struggle of, especially for me, as I'm a very emotional guy, sensitive or whatever. I'm a little whiny bitch. But like for me, the most important thing is that the people I care about are happy. And when it comes to someone you love or someone you really like or something like that, that's compounded, and it's so much more than just like, hey, this is just a friend, I care about their happiness. But then you really fucking care about that other person's happiness. But then in the end, especially in a situation like, say, the person you're interested in is in like a relationship, you can't say that. Can't say anything about it because what are the ways that situation goes? Either nothing comes out of it and somehow you manage to stay friends, which in most fucking situations I've yet to see that work out well. You get turned down and your friendship falls apart. And it's all your fault. Or what? Like, what? You ruin a relationship because your needs or your wants, not even your needs, are more important somehow. I fucking hate it. been in that position multiple times, and it's extremely frustrating. It's one of the biggest fucking reasons I got so depressed in the first place was over relationship stuff. And people can look at that and be like, oh, that's pathetic, but it was a little more fucking complicated than that. It's just that was a big part of it. I think about that like now, and it's just I want everyone to be happy, and it's one of those things where I can't. I can't make everyone happy, because if I'm happy, then someone isn't happy, and if they're happy, then I'm fucked. So, and in the end, as much as it hurts, as much as it makes me want to fucking cry, I'm going to choose them over me. I fucking hate it, man. I love people, and I love friendships, and I love relationships, I love love. But it has an unbelievable way of just being a complete and utter fucking torment every time it rears its fucking ugly head into my life. I don't like it. I don't like being that guy. No one wants to be that guy or that girl or whatever. This episode, man, this is delving way too much into me and shit. Another reason why Shannon doesn't like being Shannon. Maybe because of those thoughts, I didn't manage to put up with things, to keep it together. As outrageous as RIN is and was, I shouldn't have let myself get caught into that, especially when I started feeling the way I did towards her. So did I fail? My headphones just died. Okay, sorry. And fix my situation. Okay. So did I fail? Definitely clicked out of the fucking game like an idiot. That's what her eyes seem to ask. I'm sorry, RIN. I might not be able to be your friend. I don't think I could ever be a good friend to you. I say these things because they're true, not because one of us would like to hear them. But there's something that has to be said. I forgot that this fucking thing hit as close to home with me as it does. This is fucking bothering me. The finality of my words creates a shaking silence for what could either of us add to that.
Why? Why does all this happen? People are doing things I didn't ask for and don't want, and everybody keeps getting angry at me. I have no idea what's going on anymore, and I can't stop feeling like I want to run away from everything.
She shuts her eyes tight and breathes out deeply, calmly. When the eyelids open, all I can see is dark green desperation.
I have no idea what's wrong with me.
Her frenetic outburst stupefies me for a moment, and for a heartbeat we just gaze into each other's face. Seeing her confused eyes desperately looking for answers from mine only makes me sad, because I know that I have none. I don't know either, but you know you. You yourself said that things are not right nor wrong. They just are. You either accept them, work to change them, or give up. It's not like I hate you, or that the teacher does. I think that I'm the kind of person who gives up when he feels he can't go on. And even if you hate it, this is how things are. I'm saying pretty cruel things, but I can't stop myself. The words keep rolling off my tongue with slow, hard certainty. I can see them hitting RIN almost like physical blows. As the wetness gathers in the corners of her eyes, they are still wide with the shock of rejection. As the tears start rolling down her pale cheek, God damn it, no! She does nothing to stop them. As they fall down on the floor one by one, she stands still, staring at me with a gaze full of hollow disbelief. But reality catches up. Rin slumps forward as if she was deflating and buries her face as deep into my shirt as she can. Rin is heavy and feather light when I support her weight. She doesn't really sob or bawl, just leans against me, letting her tears burn through my shirt into the skin underneath. And I let her, bringing my hand around her shoulders into a clumsy hug that does no good to comfort her. I can feel Rin's vertebrae against my fingertips, like hard and jagged reminders of how messed up things really are. Her slim shoulder quivering against my palm is a pitiable sight, and the hopelessness of being a part of the cause for Rin's sadness keeps shredding my heart. To make a girl cry is the most despicable thing to do. It's not fucking good. Even Rin. Especially Rin. Behind that wall of aloofness, Rin is just a person too. Just as confused, scared, and as lost as any of us is. Most of the time, it seems that there is really no rhyme or reason for what Rin does and says, but for once, I think I finally really understand how she feels. But no words can express it, and no words can make it better. So wordless we stay, quietly waiting for the tears to run out. Time passes agonizingly slowly. Even the lazy specks of dust floating in the air seem to pause into a standstill. The obligatory wall clock is ticking distractingly from above the door. I decide against counting the seconds because it would make them feel longer. Eventually my shirt stirs a little and, still smothering herself against my chest, mutters into my shirt.
Let me be here for a while. Please, Sisao. Just give me a little while.
A soothing deluge spreads into my consciousness, the knowledge that while being here for Rin is all I can do for her, that's all she wants right now. Even after all we've been through. Yeah. Sure. So she stays there. But I still can't bring myself to draw her closer so I could embrace her properly. It's because doing it would just make me so sad that I don't know if I could bear it. The realization that we might never really be able to become what we want to be for the other crystallizes into my mind as a diamond-hard enlightenment. A pang surges through my heart like an electric shock. It's painful. This clarity hurts. What can we be for each other? What meaning is there for us so to desperately cling to each other even though it seems so futile? What should I say to Rin? How to make her feel better? I don't know what any of those things. And I fear knowing them would only hurt more. Forcefully, I push all that out of my mind because I don't want to be thinking of hurtful truths. My thoughts calm down soon enough. The sadness disperses until all that's left inside me is me and Rin and the tender feeling of her warmth and softness against my chest. And when did I fall in love with her? I can't remember, but I'm certain it was way before the warm touch of her lips on my own. On that orange-colored afternoon when she was sick with cold, and I went to see her because of unclear reasons. Her carefree attitude, the air of otherness around her, and all the things that make Rin herself. Those things captured me with an irresistible force. The way she could take in everything, and everything giving it only the value she herself placed, weighing all things fairly and without prejudice, seeing the world as she wanted. This is something I could never do. And Rin was probably more of a muse to me than anything ever was to her. She seemed so free to me, truly a free spirit, while I, constantly worrying about everything, seemed so inhibited that it was almost embarrassing. Maybe that's why I latched on so tightly onto Rin, trying to get inside her world that was so different from my own bleak life. Before I noticed it, that irresistible force that had pulled me dangerously close to her, before it turned out to be way too alien for me. But I had forgotten Newton of all things. The gravitational force is inversely proportional to the square of the distance between objects. Oh, my throat hurts so bad right now. So if two people feel something for each other, even though feelings are not governed by the constants of the universe, I can't help thinking that for some time now I've been a satellite to Rin's brightly shining planet. Planet Rin. The thought makes me almost laugh. She really does seem to be from another planet at times, minus some green skin and possibly some tentacles. Perhaps because of my stifled laughter, Rin pulls away and I let her go, feeling the cold when her warmth goes away and the slight embarrassment for letting my thoughts run wild like that. I credit that as Rin being a bad influence on me, while I'm glad at the same time that she can't read thoughts for real. Rin's bitter tears have dried up and she looks a little bit more like herself again. The lost look in her eyes is still there, though. Her gaze wanders around restlessly before stopping at me.
What happened just now? You tell me.
What? What do you mean?
I cried.
She says that hesitantly, as if not believing it herself. Yeah. She keeps staring at me as if pleading guidance so that she wouldn't have to feel so lost.
Why?
You were sad. Is that what you want me to say? Isn't that obvious?
I don't know. It feels weird to cry.
What? I don't believe it. I mean, everybody does that. It's I bite my tongue before I finish my argument about normality. Norms do not apply to the person I'm talking to.
It always felt so wrong, different from what's in me. Like I couldn't really tell what I felt. So I started thinking that maybe I don't know what I'm feeling. Maybe it's me who's wrong. I thought those kinds of things. I thought that painting was enough because it felt that I did at least that right. That's all that's inside me that all that is inside me could become a picture if I tried really hard. And it could. But it still doesn't feel like it's enough anymore. Because nobody else can see that. I'll still be alone. Was it wrong to try? Everyone got really angry at me for that.
I've rarely heard Rin say this much at once before. Once he finishes, she simply shuts up, looking so neutral that it's hard to believe she just said what she did. God damn it. I don't know what to think. Rin was desperate for someone to look at her paintings and somehow see right through them into her soul, to understand who she is, because she felt that she couldn't express them in any other way. How can one say whether that's right or wrong? I don't think it is right or wrong. I think it's just what it is. Could it be that all this time she's been trying to reach out from me like I've tried to reach out to her? I sit down on a desk to think and to rest my legs that kept us both standing for a while. You know, when I read a good book or two, or look at the starry sky or whatever, sometimes I feel something profound, like a... Shoot, I don't know how to describe it, but the instant I try to put into words, I feel like I lose something. It doesn't feel as real, as true as it did inside my head. It feels a bit phony. Damn, even what I just said felt phony. I offer a smile that is meant to be between funny and self-deprecating, but Rin doesn't really react. Anyway, it might be that nobody can ever express their true feelings so that others can understand. Reality has no chance of living up to what someone has inside their head. Nothing can match that, not even your paintings, except maybe for you. But I suppose you can't keep everything inside. You'll explode for real then. What I'm trying to say is I don't think it's wrong to express your feelings, even if you use paintings as your conduit. You just can't expect people to understand you any better than they would if you did it any other way. In fact, you can't expect people to understand you at all. It's because everything is so subjective. You see the world the way you do, but it's different from everyone else.
But isn't that terrible?
I guess in a way it is. She frowns, looking probably as stricken as she can, which isn't much, but it's enough for me to understand that Rin is not particularly happy.
I think it might make me sad after all.
Yeah, I know. I just wish I could do something to help it. I don't think I sound bitter, even though I am a little. This is my problem. I can't be what Rin wants for her. For the same reason, she can't do the same for me either. She makes a difficult face, carefully trying to pick the words she wants to say. So Rin has times when it's hard to say anything too.
It can't be helped, I think. But if you say that, it makes me feel a little better.
It's funny how some seemingly irrelevant things are the most significant ones at times like this. I like how Rin's voice is very, very small, barely audible when she says that. And how even her short bangs can cover her eyes when she looks downwards. And how they can't cover the deep red color rising on her cheeks all the way to the tips of her ears.
Oh. Oh.
They turn into a very interesting shade of red. A deafening silence follows. It's very awkward, as if I saw something that wasn't meant to be seen, even if it wasn't on purpose. I don't know what to say to that, but I keep feeling like I should know. She doesn't either. Still, it feels like there is no momentum to lose, even if we kept silent. Like we have some weird, wordless connection that would hold even so. Rin keeps shifting her weight from one foot to the other restlessly, looking everywhere around the room except at me. She's the one who finally breaks the spell.
Can we go? I don't want to stay here.
Oh, yeah. Of course, where? My reply is covering my nervousness as badly as her question is covering hers.
You can go wherever you like. I want to sleep. I haven't really slept for a few weeks. It feels like there's a flock of light blue butterflies inside my head. It makes it hard to think properly. The kind that you think is too blue to really exist, like Emmy's panties this morning. Ugh.
She shakes her head, and I almost expect a couple of ultramarine-colored morphos to pop out of her ears. A small smile tugs upwards at the corners of her mouth.
That reminds me. The blue, not the panties. The word for a flock of butterflies is a swarm. I looked it up.
That makes my eyebrow rise into a questioning arc. Why don't you use it, then?
I like the other word better.
Why look it up in the first place, then? Then you should use it, right? She nods and falls silent, her gaze escaping mine to the side, attracted by the dark orange sunlight refracting in from the windows. We stay like that for a little while, me looking silently at her, silently looking out the window. Hey. You alright now? She glances at me from the corner of her eye, looking wistful again. The sunlight's reflection doesn't betray any more of her inner feelings.
I'll need to think about that.
I want to continue this conversation, grasping at those straws that she finally revealed to even exist. But Rin is looking out the window so absent-mindedly that I know she won't be responsive in any way that would make sense. It's like some kind of defense mechanism of hers to avoid being sensible. Her mind is like a butterfly in itself, always fluttering around somewhere away whenever it's stirred. Just when I thought I couldn't see behind her veil, she jumps out of my reach again. Maybe that's just how Rin is. Maybe that's something I should just accept to get some peace of mind. Okay. I'll walk you back to the dorms then.
Thank you. Really.
The empty hallways of the school, devoid of its students, feel very lonely. Less than 1 hour after the summer vacation began, the building seems to be deserted, and all that intrudes on the stillness of the hallways are our footsteps. The change is sudden, but it shows just how the building is just an empty shell, dead without its students or its teachers. It's as though the school has become a private world for only the two of us, a desolate place filled with silence and chalk dust.
I think I have to change.
She says it out of the blue while we walk down the staircase from the 3rd floor, still managing to feel like she's mirroring what I was thinking just before. That's what people have to do sometimes. That's the last thing we'd say to each other that day, even though there would be so much more to talk about. And even those words drown in the all-encompassing silence, disappearing with a stagnant air as if they were never said.